What is going on, everybody? All right, it is Daft coming right back at you with another crazy story time. Now, I just want to start this video by saying the last video that I posted got immediate attention very quickly. Thank you guys so much for that. I really hope that that kind of support will continue in this video and my videos that will be following. All right, I really appreciate it. Let's get right into the video. So, this all starts off again when I was a sophomore in high school, okay? I remember at the time I worked a job, right? I worked at a Dunkin' Donuts. I've talked about this Dunkin' before in one of my other stories. And I worked with this kid, all right? His name was, we'll call him Aiden, okay? So I worked with Aiden. I remember I trained him. He was like a year older than I was. So he was turning 17 and I was 16. And I remember one day he came up to me and he was like, "Yo, Sam, just letting you know, like my 17th birthday's coming up and I'm throwing a party at this hotel. It's sort of going to be like a dinner. So, if you want to come, like you're invited, just like make sure you dress nice. And I was like, all right, yeah, sure. And he's like, yeah, there's also going to be dinner, like stuff like that. And I'm like, honestly, dude, I will be there, bet. And I asked him, I'm like, when is it? And he's like, it's in like a week and a half. So you have plenty of time to like prepare and stuff like that. And I was like, sure, man. So yeah, I remember I left work that day and I went home. I asked my mom if I could go and she was like, "Yeah, sure, you can go." So a week and a half goes by. It's the day of the party. I'm hyped, right? I got my outfit set up. I got him a gift. I remember I got him a Funko Pop because he really liked collecting Funko Pops. So I got him one of those. And overall, I'm very excited. I remember I dressed very nicely, or at least I thought it looked nice back then. I don't really. I'm going to throw up a photo of what it was and you guys let me know. Yeah, no, looking back, honestly, I sort of look like a really corny college professor that teaches math and is going through a divorce. But yeah, that's what I wore. I thought I looked fly as fuck, right? And so my mom drives me to this hotel where the party is, and I get out and I go in the lobby and I think, wait a minute, he didn't even tell me where in the hotel the party was, right? So I walked around the lobby for a little bit and then I saw his dad sitting at the hotel bar with some of his friends and I walked up to him. I was like, "Hey, like I'm here for Aiden's party. Like, where is it?" And he's like, "Oh, hey Sam, what's going on? Like it's just down the hall. Like it's in the like the ballroom because I don't know a lot of hotels they have like not really a ballroom, but like, just a party room." He's like, "It's in there." So I walk in there and like the party's sort of just starting up. I see my friends, right? There's some other friends that I worked with there and I see Aiden. So I walk up to him and I give him his gift. I'm like, "Yo, happy birthday, man. Like, thank you for inviting me." He's like, "Dude, thank you so much for the gift. Like, thanks for coming. And then so yeah, the party it's going right. People are dancing, people are eating some food. I ate some pretty good food. The food was honestly really, really good. And yeah, so then we started dancing, okay? And while we're dancing, I was looking around the room to kind of see if there was anybody else that I knew. And I saw this girl, right? I looked at her and she looked at me. And then like immediately we kind of looked away. I remember thinking she was really pretty. And that was sort of it for that interaction, okay? Then later on, we're all sitting down at the table. I remember Aid and his parents were up there. They're giving a speech, just kind of about how proud they are of him. And it's really nice. Some people are crying, like some of the family members, which is honestly kind of funny. I kind of find it a little bit funny when people cry at speeches like that. Not just because like, oh, the speech is corny, but I don't really cry at stuff like that, so I kind of find it a little bit humorous. But I looked around again to see, oh, can I see that girl anywhere? And she was at the table right next to me. Like, I remember we looked at each other. She kind of smiled. I kind of smiled. And then, like, we looked away. And yeah, so later on in the party, it's sort of ending. I remember she came up to me. She's like, "Hey, like I saw you. You look pretty cool. Like, what's your name?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm Sam. Like, what's yours?" And she's like, "Oh, we'll call her Mary." She's like, "Oh, I'm Mary." I'm like, "Oh, like it's nice to meet you." And we're just kind of talking, all right? We're talking about what high school we go to. She went to a completely different high school than I did at that point. And I was like, "Can I get your number?" Right? Because I just kind of wanted to shoot my shot. I wasn't really thinking she'd say yes or like maybe she'd give me a fake number, but she was like, "Yeah, sure." And she writes down her phone number, right? And I put it into my phone and I text hi, and her phone dings. So I think, dude, hell yeah, like I just got this girl's number and I'm like trying to play it cool, like on the outside. And then she ends up leaving, right? And I go up to my friend, I go up to Aiden, and I'm sort of like talking to him, and he's like, "Dude, I saw you like talking to Mary. Like, And I saw she gave you her phone number. And I was like, yeah, yeah, I got it, man. And he's like, dude, just letting you know, like, her parents, like, they're kind of strict. Like, just a warning. And I'm like, oh, dude, like, I'm sure it'll be okay. Like, I've dated other girls who had pretty strict parents. Like, it's normally fine. He's like, all right, dude, like, all right. So yeah, I end up talking to him and his parents a little bit, and then I end up leaving. Okay, so I end up leaving. I remember I go home and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna call Mary. I'm gonna say what's up, right? So I call her up and we talk on the phone for a few hours, right? We're laughing. We're definitely getting along a lot. And yeah, so then we end up planning like a hangout, right? And so later on, a few days later, we hang out. I remember we went to the mall and then, we hung out more and more and more. And then, what do you know? We started dating, right? And it's going pretty good, right? We've been dating for about a month at this point. Fast forward in time, we've been dating about a month and I take her out to eat, right? I got my paycheck, and I text her. I said, "Hey, like I want to take you out to dinner. Like, let's go somewhere." And she's like, "All right, cool. Like where are we gonna go?" And I was like, "Honestly, I was thinking just something simple, like California Pizza Kitchen." And she's like, "That sounds good with me. I really like that place." So yeah, 16-year-old me taking this girl out on a date to none other than California Pizza Kitchen. Honestly, guys, the like most top tier luxurious restaurants. Gordon Ramsay, like himself, was just too amazed that like as soon as he stepped foot in that place, you guys, like he shat himself. Like it was way too much for him. Okay, obviously I'm kidding. California Pizza Kitchen is not like an extremely nice restaurant. It's just like, it's a your average like pizza place. But yeah, so I remember we end up ordering, we get our food, we get our drinks, and we're eating and we're just talking, we're talking back and forth. And then she says, "Hey, I want to ask you a question." And I was like, "Yeah, like what's up? Anything?" And she was like, "The other day we were hanging out in your room and I noticed like on your wall you had like all these like funky looking posters and then you had this like flag with a weed plant on it." And I was like, yeah, yeah, no, I have those because at the time I smoked weed a lot, so I had like all those psychedelic posters and stuff like that and like weed tapestries. And she looks at me, she's like, "So do you like smoke weed? Like, is that why you have those?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I smoke weed, like, not like all the time, not all day, every day, but I definitely do like, smoke it sometimes a little bit." And then she looks at me and she's like, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah, like a lot of people do, and I do." And she puts her fork down and she's like, "I'm sorry." And she gets up and she just walks away. And I was like, "Yo, what? Like, what do you mean?" And she's like, "I'm sorry. Like, I need to go home. I need to go home." And then she just walks right out of the restaurant and like she stands outside for a little bit and she calls her parents. Then like the car pulls up, she gets in and she goes. And I can't believe my mind. I'm like, dude, like what just happened? Like I don't like why'd she just walk off like that? Surely it's not because of the weed thing, right? Like surely something else might have popped into her mind when obviously it was because of the weed thing, all right? So I flagged the waiter down. I'm like, "Hey, like can I get my check?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he noticed that my date was gone. He's like, "Where'd your date go?" And I'm like, "Dude, she just like she left like she just left me here." And he was like, "Oh man, I'm so sorry. I'll be right back with your check." So he gives me the check and he actually took her meal and drinks off. So I was only paying for my meal and drinks, which was pretty cool. I guess she got free dinner out of it, but whatever. So I end up paying and I text my mom to pick me up. She picks me up and we go home. And I remember as soon as I got in my room, I start texting her. I'm like, "Hey, like, why'd you leave? Like, what happened?" And my messages are instantly just going to green, which means that she blocked me because she had an iPhone. So normally they'd go to blue, but this time they were going to green, which means she blocked me. And I'm like, dude, like did she seriously block me because of some weed? Like it like for God's sakes, it's a plant. Like I'm sorry, but like it's a natural plant that grows out of the ground. Like, come on. So I was like, whatever, right? I put my phone down, I started playing some games, right? Some video games, and then I end up falling asleep. And I wake up the next morning to my phone buzzing. And I pick it up and I see it's Mary, right? She's calling me and I'm like, "Oh shit, like finally an explanation or something." So I pick up the phone, I'm like, "Hello." She's like, "Hey, like, can I talk to you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, what's up?" And she's like, "Honestly, like I can't do this with you. Like I'm not gonna date a drug addict." And I was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like what do you mean drug addict?" And she's like, "You smoke weed. Like that's what druggies and like, tweakers do. Like Like, I'm not going to be associating with like your dangerous lifestyle. And I just think, dude, like, dangerous lifestyle. I'm a 16-year-old kid. I occasionally smoke a plant that comes out of the grounds that I get from my coworkers. Like, she's acting like I'm on the streets of Philly fucking slanging heroin. So I tell her, I'm like, dangerous lifestyle, like, I'm making minimum wage and I'm smoking a plant occasionally. Like, what's dangerous about that? She's like, that's how people have overdoses. Like, you're gonna die, you're gonna go to hell, you're gonna overdose. And I was like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, you know what? Fine. If you're dumping me over this and you're taking this far, like, then we clearly are not meant to be together. So I remember hanging up, and that was it, right? That was it with Mary. I was astonished. I wasn't even sad anymore. I was more pissed because she took it that far. Like, guys, she called me a drug addict. Like, she implied that I was like hanging out in Manhattan fucking fent folding or some shit, right? So I ended up telling my mom. I didn't tell her why she broke up with me. I just told her that we broke up, and she's like, "Oh, like, honey, I'm so sorry." And I was like, "It's okay. Like, I'm not really that upset about it." And I ended up going to work like the next day, and I told my friend about it. I told Aiden, and he's like, "Yeah, like, her parents told my parents it's because you smoke weed." And honestly, dude, I told you, like, her parents are super, super conservative and they're strict with that stuff. And I was like, "Yeah, like, I guess so, you know?" But yeah, that was pretty much the end of it. I've never heard from her since. I don't know what she's doing now. I mean, I hope you're doing well. If you're listening to this for some reason, hope you're doing well. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the story. All right, it was definitely a pretty interesting one. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe if you did, and I will see you guys in the next story. Peace out.